Well, it looks like the Natty King and friends are back at it again. Yeah, the whole gang is here. But I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. And the end is near, so let's drink beer.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the End is Near, so Let's Drink Beer podcast, sponsored by Premium Cabinets. Shout out to John Morgan and family over there. If you're looking to get any cabinet work done or kitchen remodeling, holler at them at 314-499-8800. Hey everybody, welcome back to the End is Near, so Let's Drink Beer podcast. I don't know, what's today, Friday? Yes, it's Friday, 10:48. We have Paige Sparks here.
Happy Friday.
Paige Sparks is a dear friend from many years. And I got Tim
does
Tim's
it all
here.
the time. My wife
Tim's
does it
here.
too, but
Tim's
it's
here,
only
sorry.
when we're role
I
playing.
always fuck that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paige is an
Say that once.
Go ahead.
Right
Fucking
after
give
you
it-
did that
give
legal
it to
disclaimer
me.
earlier, which
Give
was
it to
fucking
me.
beautiful, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
now
the-
you can't
by
even
the
say
way-
her name.
By the way, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely upon advertising.
So you can say that, but you
However,
can't
this
say
is
whatever.
not an advertisement.
However, this is also not an advertisement. But
We're
Paige
just
is a
talking.
lawyer. We do have a lawyer here today, a very good one. So, but anyway.
And before, because I'll be like shit talking a bunch, I'm sure. So anything I say is just my opinion, not legal advice. Check with a lawyer if you think you might have a case.
Boom.
Yes.
But if you're the lawyer that they check with, does that make that comment
work?
just basically
How's
out the
that?
window? Or
I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
call her.
Yeah.
Tell them what kind of law you do, by the way, so they know what to. Because I've got a couple of speeding tickets that you're clearly not going to help me out
Well,
with. So
I
She
do.
just
I
knocked
do
out a
tickets.
couple for me.
Yeah,
Fucking.
I actually enjoy doing speeding tickets and stuff, especially for friends and family. It's like it's not easy, but it's like a process. So you know what I mean? It just
Right.
takes like time on the internet. Usually,
Right,
and
right.
So I actually like doing tickets because like that's one thing I can't fuck up. You know, like it's like a no-brainer. But yeah, I'll do them for friends and family.
She knocked out a fucking window tint. I don't know what the hell it was. Some bullshit.
Yeah, I don't
we
know.
need to talk about that, by the way. Well, afterwards, I'm going to tint my windows. I need to know what the legal limit is.
Well,
Like,
I'll
you
just
mad
fix
at me?
your
Keep,
ticket,
yeah.
So go ahead.
I
Go
fucked
ahead.
up your flow. I fucked up your flow. Keep going.
No. Just send me your ticket if you take Brandon's advice. Don't do the tint he does, or you'll get tickets for it.
I did dark. It was bad.
Yeah.
Is that still on there?
No, it was my old car.
Oh,
that was
okay.
such an old ticket.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but what were we just talking about?
Yeah. So I
Alec
do
Baldwin.
employment
The Brady,
law.
the
Oh,
Brady
okay.
thing,
Wait.
right? You
Wait.
can't.
This
This is
can't.
what we do.
Do we all have ADHD?
Yes,
Horribly.
100%, without question.
Okay,
This is
that
what
explains.
this is
Yeah.
how it's gonna go the whole
We
time.
need
Yeah.
like this talking stick so we don't lose our flow.
Okay.
But real quick to answer your question, I do employment law, so I only represent employees for like sexual harassment, race discrimination, disability discrimination, FMLA, those kind of things. And I really enjoy doing it because most employers are bullies. You know, like everyone's worked for a shitty employer, and that's who I get to fight with. So I enjoy doing that.
What if I am the shitty employer?
Then I
so
enjoy
we'll
suing
talk
you.
off.
Yeah,
Okay, all
then
right,
I
perfect.
really enjoy suing you,
Gotcha.
especially when you write the check at the end.
Yeah.
That's what I
Okay.
like.
Oh, that's gotta feel
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we're buddies.
There are a couple employers, like smaller businesses, that personally hate me for first. And I get it. Like if someone sued me for my business, it would be hard not to take it personally. I totally get it. But there's one in particular, a local business. I had a couple of really good claims against him because he was shitty. He had multiple employees that this happened. And one of them called the other day and was like, hey, he fucking hates you, so I want to hire you because he just bitches about you nonstop.
Hell yeah, there you
And I
go.
was like,
That's how
that
you know.
made
Fuck
my-
yeah.
Yeah. I don't need to advertise.
No, that's fucking perfect.
It
But-
was awesome.
But dude, hey, you know what? They might be a small business owner or whatever, but don't fuck people over, and you wouldn't have that problem. You know
right.
what I mean?
Follow
Like,
the law, and I can't sue
Right.
you.
like
know?
if you treat people right, especially these employees who don't know that they have recourse, they
Right,
don't
and
know.
most
They just
don't.
sit
Yeah.
there and like, I don't want to get fired, so I'm gonna take this.
Right.
I don't want to get in trouble. I don't.
You
He
don't
might
wanna
hold my pay. I don't know.
Rock the boat. Yeah,
don't know. Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's predatory, and it can be really scary. And you know, you can't lose your job and miss a mortgage payment because you're screwed. So
Right.
I totally get it. But that's why I like doing it.
Right.
I like to be like the Wicked Witch of the West that comes in to be a bitch.
And they're like, that's fucking Paige. Here she comes.
That, pretty much. yeah.
What would you say the most common for? Is it usually sexual harassment? I'm assuming would probably be the most common.
That is pretty common. Because a lot of guys just can't control themselves at work, pretty much. That is common, but my most common one is disability discrimination.
Right.
Because a lot of employers either don't realize what can be a disability, like depression can be a disability depending on how it affects your life.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great lawsuit about that where the employer was like, oh, just man up, be a man, get over your depression. Everyone gets sad. Like comments like that.
Right.
And, you know, I know how we all feel about mental health. Like depression is a serious thing. It can be debilitating.
100%.
And turn into other things as well. So I represented him. And that was a really nice lawsuit because a lot of employers are ignorant to knowing what their, like smaller businesses especially, don't know what their regulations are, what they're supposed to be doing, or they act first and then ask questions later. So those are my favorite kind of cases.
Right.
But I love disability discrimination. Also, FMLA is a really good one. Do you know what that is? FMLA.
Yeah.
Fuck
Family
my
medical leave
life, asshole.
Family medical leave act.
That too. Oh.
Yeah.
Hello.
So the one I'm
Oh, you mean the
talking
legal?
about-
Okay.
Yeah, legal. You didn't
Not
know
the
Yeah.
YouTube or the Pornhub.
Not what
Oh,
my
my-
kid sends me? All right, yeah.
you
BB.
didn't- This is your legal pop quiz for
Yes,
the day.
okay.
Yeah.
But it's like 12 weeks of unpaid job protected leave. So like if you had an employee that did that and they qualified for it, you can't fire them while they use it, and you
Right.
can't fire them for using it. A lot of employers fire people on FMLA, which is like, why?
Because they're on, like, they should know that they can't do
They should
that.
know better.
And then what happens usually whenever they, like, if what do they have to do? They have to pay, or do they have to rehire them, or how does it work?
Oh,
Nobody would wanna
so
go back to
most of
that.
the time, right? Most people don't want to go back to the job they've been fired from. So I never try to get my clients reinstated. So usually they just have to pay for the damages of lost wages and the embarrassment of losing
Right,
the job.
right.
And say your emotional distress damages. But yeah, usually we don't do. I strongly advise against reinstatement. I had one case that settled where they did keep my client employed, and it's been a nightmare for them ever since because like. If you look at him wrong again, I'm going to sue you again for retaliation. Like, so they learned that the hard way.
I would
So he
actually,
still works
I would
there.
actually
He still works
like
there.
that. Just walking into the office, like, fucking look at me wrong,
Well,
owner.
I mean, and he's like such a good guy that he doesn't do that. They're just assholes.
Right.
But when we were resolving the case, option one was much more expensive to pay him to leave because you're paying him to resign from a good job that he's good at. And then option B was cheaper that he'll stay working there. But no employer ever wants that.
Right.
I would be Peter from Office Space.
100%.
You knock down the cubicle, gutting a
100%.
fish at my desk,
100%.
He's
showing
such a
up
good
when I want
employee.
to.
Yeah.
And they mess with
Such
that,
a
it just pisses
great
me off.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. So I always say don't do that. And they picked that cheaper option. And I'm like, all right, we'll be back here in a year. And here we are.
So when they do this, like, okay, so somebody goes on FMLA and they get fired because of it, right? What is the reasoning from the employee? Is it like this is the third time this person watched a sad movie on the weekend and they can't perform? Like,
So-
what's the argument there?
Most of the time, most commonly, the person will take their leave, maybe not get interrupted or interfered with while they're on leave. But when they return, they start getting written up for a project that happened on their leave. They weren't visible enough. That's the most common complaint I see write-ups for, not being visible enough. And it's like, you were gone for 12 weeks. Of course you're not visible. But that's the most common. I think they think they're being like clever. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So that's the most common thing I see are write-ups for that. And then they start like a PIP, like a performance improvement plan, writing them up like that to fire them afterward. Or I've seen ones be fired on it if they think it's exhaust. So it does. Your obligation as an employer doesn't end right when FMLA ends. You still have to accommodate them. So I've had people that'll be like, all right, last day of FMLA, you're fired. Like, I'm not
And
kidding.
you're like, yes.
Yeah. So those are good too. for me.
Perfect. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm past the. I used to do the whole I want to grind it out, make my own money, blah blah blah. I'm past that. I'm doing well, but I really want to fucking score.
Just
So
get a
I'm
good
just
settlement.
looking.
Yeah. Just looking for that get rich quick thing.
Yeah, but
I hear you, dude.
Getting in a little
We've
track.
put in
I'm
our
one of
time.
the owners, so
We
I
put in
can't
our time.
I can't sue myself,
true.
or can I?
Well, no, just do a personal
Make
injury
yourself an
claim.
LLC.
Like, get hit by a tractor trailer just a little bit, then you'll get a settlement.
Just run
Okay,
in front
all
of
right,
something.
yeah, just fucking run me over.
No,
So-
I mean you can't initiate it. It just has to like accidentally happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
That's legal advice.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
No,
advice.
it's not. It is,
You can do what you
No.
know.
Oops.
There is.
That's
no,
not legal advice. Sorry. Sorry.
There is
Well,
no legal. I'll
That
leave
is not
right
le-
now, Brandon.
That is not
I'll
legal
get up out of
advice.
this
I
room
forgot
and
we
leave
can't.
right
We can't say it's legal advice.
Brandon's
So-
out here trying to get me sued.
So
I'll
hypothetically,
represent you.
if we're leaving here, he happens to run over my foot or whatnot. My dreams of an NFL quarterback, those are now shot because I can't. My foot's fucked up. Am I suing him? Am I suing Joey, who owns this? Who am I suing?
You know, I know enough about personal injury.
Joey comes flying in right now.
I don't know. I think you can sue like who owns the place if it happened there. They have to sort it out later.
Okay.
You could probably sue
Cha-ching.
Brandon.
Cha-ching.
You could probably sue any companies he has affiliated with this
Cha-ching.
because you're here
Okay.
for this.
All right.
Jesus.
You can't sue me
It's all
'cause I'm
under an
here as a
LLC,
visitor.
There's
right?
a lot of.
It's all under an LLC,
See,
though,
don't
right?
ask questions you don't want the answer to.
All right.
Very good. Yeah, well,
I like it.
shit, hey,
I like it.
Do what you got to do. I won't
Yeah,
even
that's what
fight
insurance is for. But but since I will say, since you were just on the record saying you're going to do it, I think everyone would be able to get the claim this
Hence the hypothetically disclaimer that I threw
So now,
out there.
so now
I'm
even
no
if
dummy.
it does happen,
Yeah.
totally accidentally,
Actually,
you're still fucked.
Actually, do you know what like a nightmare your insurance lawyer would be like? What the fuck did you say right before?
Even if it really happened, like even if it was a total fucking accident.
Hey, man, who knew?
yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
You'd be like, come on. Even years from now.
Yeah.
I could do it.
I would never. I would never do that.
I could run you over now.
Now he's saying, "Oh no, I would never do that."
Did you hear that? Yeah. Did you get that one?
That
Damn.
sounded really
We're
credible.
gonna watch
too.
that in court. That's
Yeah.
gonna overturn
I
the
may
whole
sue
thing.
you for
It's gonna
sexual
be
harassment,
Exhibit
but
12 one day.
You just overturn the whole case with that.
I'm gonna go off road one more time, and then I'm gonna stay on the path. Hypothetically, had I and I know you put that on my fucking car last week too, because I saw the little ring in the
What?
back. I think it fell off. So we like to
What?
prank each other, right? You know what I'm talking
Brandon
about.
Never would.
So
be like,
I
he's very
bought-
serious.
I
don't
bought
play
a.
around. I don't
I
play
think I think the clinical term is a dildo. I bought a dildo that's got a
Scientific.
suction cup on it, and I was going to put it on the back of his car. Well, it fell out of my pocket, unbeknownst to me. He saw it, so I couldn't do it. He then
How
grabs
small
it.
was it? Wait a minute.
It was a pretty good
How
size.
did you not notice that fell out of your pocket?
No,
He
he
was so
noticed
close,
it
too.
fell.
I was leaving. I had no idea.
Yeah. So anyway,
Fumbles
long
it.
story short, if I were to have put that on his car and he gets pulled over and he gets a ticket for whatever that ticket would be, would I theoretically be responsible for that ticket, or would he, since he knew nothing about it?
I mean, when you get a ticket, it is assigned to you as the driver of
Okay,
the
so
car.
that
You're
would have been on
responsible
you.
for your vehicle and knowing what's on it
Correct.
and around it.
Okay,
even if
perfect.
it's not fair, or even
Okay.
if you did that. So also, like, if you busted one of his taillights out, he'd be responsible for the taillight ticket.
I would never do that
I'm just
to
giving
you.
that as an example of like a non-dildo
Yeah.
example.
I'll put a dildo on your car. I'm not going to bust
We
your
need a
tail
clip
out.
of that for my socials
non-dildo.
later. I'm just giving that as a non-dildo example.
There you go.
But
Yeah,
you did put
we'll
that
get
on my car, though, didn't you?
No, I
Because
didn't.
there was a little ring on the back. So you still have it?
Yeah.
Might
it's
have-
in my-
Okay, we need to get somebody
I got
for
it in my
that.
car.
It might
Yeah.
have fell on your car and stuck for a minute, right? Like,
No, yeah. No, I really
God damn
didn't.
it. I
put it on
was
your car.
I was so disappointed. I left so deflated
Yeah,
last
dude,
week.
he was so excited. He was talking about it for like a week. He's
I'm
like,
like,
I
God
got you,
damn it!
bro.
All I
You're
had to do was
fucking
keep
going
this thing
down.
in my pocket, and I bend over, and this dick falls out.
It was
and I'm
gonna be
like,
sticking to the
and I
back
go,
of my car. I would
maybe,
have drove all the way home.
That would've
maybe
been
he didn't see it, and you're looking at me, and you're like, I literally just saw you pick that dildo
Well,
up
you
off the
couldn't keep a
ground,
straight
and I'm
face.
like, I
You're
know
like
it was
going in
tough.
for a fucking high five
It
out
was
of
so,
nowhere.
I
It was
know,
so
I know.
fucked.
It was.
I
think
It was an
he
off
would
week.
have gotten a ticket for it probably anyway.
They probably would have been like, sir.
Like, there's not an ordinance I think that exists for that specific situation, but
That's why I was asking where you were going afterwards,
Yeah.
because my fear was you were going to pull up to like a
Oh.
kid's party
Like his
to
daughter's
pick
school,
up one of your
yeah,
kids,
summer
and
camp.
there it is,
Yeah.
a cock hanging
now
from the
he's a
back
sex
of your.
offender.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No.
That might be a little more serious. If that
Yeah,
were-
no, I didn't, but it is in my glove box still.
Have you told Cassie that in case she goes in
Yeah,
there,
that's a
so
good
she's
idea.
not
She
asking
did
questions?
find it.
She did. Okay,
But
all
like
right.
the amount of things Cassie has like walked in on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah. I'm
Right.
sure she was. That's like a Tuesday.
Right,
She
right.
probably
She's
just
just-
shut it and
She
kept
didn't
Yeah.
even say shit. She was just like,
Just goes right through it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, no. I mean, she's walked in
Poor
on me
Cassie.
wearing her panties, wearing her
My
bra, and
favorite
doing a
was
video.
during
like,
the pandemic when you were doing like kind of thirst trap videos of your legs and leggings and stuff, and then he would turn around and it would be
it was a
him.
butt thing. It was,
Yeah, that's what it was. And Cassie walked
I
in
fell
and
for
was
it.
like, just shut the door.
That's back when you were
Like,
doing
get out.
lunges.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
that's
like,
back
wearing
when- yeah.
Cassie's Lululemon leggings,
And
like,
that was like
showing
a
his butt.
Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon. It was
She just
so-
kind of like went back out the door.
She doesn't. Nothing phases that woman.
Cassie's a saint.
Nothing phases her anymore.
Yeah. We've got them hardened. My wife's the same thing. She came home and I had it above our oven, like on our backsplash, just
The dildo?
hanging out. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And she just walks in. She's like, "All right." After 5 minutes, "All right, what's the deal?" You know. And I'm like, "What do you
Oh, hey,
mean?"
by the way, what's the?
what do you mean?
Big giant rubber.
Yeah.
That's a big girthy one
5
too.
minutes. That's better than me. Immediately, I'd be like, "What is that?" Why
Yeah.
is that
No.
here?
She's just like, "Yeah, moving on." So
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
it fits the vibe at your house though.
You like that? Yeah.
It's a good. It matches everything else.
Yeah.
So it's good. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that Alec Baldwin case you were just talking about.
Oh, okay. So, are
'Cause
you
that's-
familiar with the trial at all?
No, I know what happened, but I don't know what's going on.
So, just in case anyone else doesn't know too, in a nutshell, the trial was Alec Baldwin and his production company on the set of Rust. There was a live round in a gun whenever either, this is disputed whether he shot it or if it went off accidentally or whatever. But when it went off, it was aimed at a camera doing a test shot and it killed the person filming it. I can't remember her name right now, but she died. So he was charged with manslaughter for the death because he was the one that was in possession of the gun when it happened. And it was like very, I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think he should have been charged? Because
absolutely not.
A lot of people
100%
didn't.
not.
Why the fuck is there even a live round on the set?
Those are a good question.
Like,
That's
why
a
is
good
Yeah.
question.
I mean,
I'm an actor. My job is to act like I'm doing,
So during trial, he said it was his defense team said it was because he does, what's that called when they like act like the role? Like
method actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they said he was doing, and I don't know if he was like shooting it off to get the vibe of like gun vibes, and then I don't know.
I feel like if you're making a movie that has violence or guns
there should be
in
no
it,
real bullets.
there should be closed set. There's no live ammunition even allowed in the fucking place.
So
we don't
then-
want to mix
One
that
would
up.
hope.
We don't want to mix that up.
One would hope.
So this is what I read happen. I don't know if factually this is true. I just read this somewhere with like different articles, but apparently all the producers weren't paying the staff on the movie enough, so they left right during production and they hired non-union replacements right away, cheaper, and so that may be how the bullets got there when they shouldn't have been, because they weren't doing things the right way, like a true.
I feel like that's
working
the
together.
number one fucking thing that
But-
you would want to
so
be
that's
very
why a
clear.
lot of-
Remember, we're on a tight budget,
Yeah.
okay? So when buying bullets,
Don't
maybe,
buy-
Just
yeah,
get the
don't get
rubber-
them all
rubber-
blanks. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's like the number one thing they should be looking at is why the fuck there was a live round anywhere in the place.
Yeah.
So the armorer was charged for that too, because that was the duty on her to make sure that wasn't happening. So she actually was convicted before Alec's trial.
She go to
started.
jail. She get
Yes, she has. I can't remember for how long, but she did get sentenced to jail. Yeah.
Okay, so there you
she
go.
was
Yeah.
responsible for the live round being there, is what the jury decided.
Well, good.
Yeah, so she was already held responsible, but they're not allowed to talk about that, I don't think, in Alec's trial, because it's not related, and that would
How's it not related?
confuse the jury. It would confuse the jury because you're only talking about Alec's liability.
His actual
Yeah.
actions and his.
So before you go to trial, it's called motion in limine, and you get to be like, they're not allowed to talk about this other thing. That's
Well,
what they
then
did.
wouldn't you think that if he is he's supposed to be under the impression that there are no live rounds?
Yeah.
Is it his job to check, look at it,
That's
be an
what his
ammunition
defense
fucking
team-
expert?
He
I mean,
is
That's
an
what his defense
actor.
team said.
Right,
I don't
right.
understand. Like,
Yeah. So after that happened and he was charged, this has been going on. It's been like people share your view that he shouldn't have been charged, or maybe a lesser charge because he didn't mean for anything to
Right,
happen. It was
right.
a genuine accident, just negligence. So after he was charged, what were you gonna say?
I know no. Go ahead. Sorry,
Oh.
I was just like, I
Yeah,
can't.
could you imagine if that happened to you guys goofing around and you know what I mean? Like that is
If that
awful.
was a
But if
real
we're on a
dick
closed
that I put on your Corvette, like,
real
look,
human-
man, I got it on Amazon.
Real human.
Yeah, I had no idea you
Oh
could
my
buy a
God.
cock for
Dude,
$12.
I'm just saying, like, your job is to act, not be an ammunitions expert, not to
That's what
even.
his defense
You
team
shouldn't even
said.
have to fucking be checking. Like, can you imagine the actors on Heat?
Yeah,
Movie Heat?
it's-
Can you imagine them
it's-
checking every fucking round?
It's
like, what are
but
you
knowing
supposed to
Michael
do?
Mann, those probably were real rounds though. But again, that's one of those. It seems so elementary that
It shouldn't
you
have happened.
wouldn't have to
Yeah.
worry about it. Like, how's that even coming into question?
I mean,
shouldn't
what are
happen.
they thinking? Are they thinking negligence, but also like negligence being like they're also assuming that he's supposed to know?
Yeah,
there was a
check
round,
every-
check every round
yeah.
that's shot
They
in a
would have
fucking
loved
western.
for you guys to be on the jury, like debating this, because that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted the issue to be. Is like, what was he supposed to do?
I would
This was
have.
just
We'd
a-
be terrible jurors
Oh,
because
yeah.
as soon as
No, I
the
want you guys on the jury because you're very opinionated.
as soon as the
you.
prosecutors start talking, we'd be like, "Are you fucking serious right now? Like, you
I
expected
object.
this
We were
guy?"
the first jurors. To
Yeah,
object.
exactly.
So so depending on like how you're doing or what your views are on when we're picking the jury, we do want someone that's really opinionated like that, because I want you to lead the group. Like if you
Right.
have opinions that are I think in my way, then I want you to be outspoken and talking about
Yeah,
it. So
like when you
have
go in
you
the
ever
room.
been called for jury duty? or
No, thank
Okay.
God.
So if you ever do,
Unless it was a sassy one. Like, I'd love to do, like this
You
one.
should do
I
it,
want to do
yeah.
something big. I
Don't
want to write a
ever-
book. I want to go on an
I
interview
don't get why
tour.
people try to get out of
You
jury
know.
duty, because I would love to.
interesting.
Yeah, you get paid a little bit to be there. You get to hear other people's tea, which I love. Like, yeah.
Right.
So I don't know why people try to get out of it, but so they would have loved you guys on the jury, because that was the main question, is like, what did he actually do that was wrong other than not check for the bullet? Was he supposed to do that?
Here's the bigger question. Who's suing him? Who's going, this is your fault? Is it the family?
Because they're going to be sued, or if they're not already, civilly by the family and the estate of the woman who died. But he was charged criminally, so the state of wherever it happened was prosecuting him. I can't remember. Right.
He got charged criminally, but he wasn't found guilty. They threw it out, didn't they?
So here's what happened. So because they had a special prosecutor appointed, and a lot of people think she was kind of too big for her britches.
And what does that mean? A special prosecutor? What is? I don't understand what that means.
Sure. So when a special prosecutor gets appointed, it's usually like a high-profile case or a really complex case that they don't want the local agency investigating it and prosecuting it.
Okay.
Or it's something that's so high, they appoint someone so there can be no suggestion that someone local had a hand in doing something.
Which
so you can get
I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay,
yeah,
that kind of makes sense.
So a special prosecutor is to make it look, be more impartial. It's someone who's coming in to investigate it, and they don't have local ties.
Right.
Usually,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
She's fucking smart.
So
yeah.
Well, which I was thinking about this on the way over here. I was like, that's literally my favorite thing is people think I'm not.
They think you're not smart?
Oh yeah. People think I'm really dumb.
Who?
I had a video, just strangers on the internet.
We get that, but we get that, but they're
you know how
pretty accurate.
They're right on.
If you
spot
think,
on.
well, I can
With
be dumb
us.
about
My
some
parents,
things, but
yeah,
not
they
about
think-
legal things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just had a video. I did a J.G. Wentworth video. Did you see that?
J.G.
I put
Wentworth.
the commercial in there to be a little devil because I wanted to get stuck in everyone's head. It was so anyway, it went viral. You do not want videos to go viral if you don't have thick skin because everyone's commenting being like, it looks like she's just figuring out how math works for the first time.
I
just asshole guy.
fucking thrive on that shit. I love it.
Dude, you know how many times I fucking got comments that she's had to talk me up? She's like, delete that.
Oh,
I'll
really?
No, I'll get comments.
I forgot about that.
Back in the day, she's been.
And let it go.
Dude, she was there when I started the group. I mean, she's been
right.
there since, she's in the admin chat with
right.
us.
For legal reasons, no, I'm not.
No.
But you would engage though, right? You would go back at her, right?
The comments
and he would really understandable. I mean, it's offensive because you're your brand. It's why I have a lot of therapy now because it's you're your brand. So anything you say to me, I want to take personally. But then I just know that the people that say that stuff, they're the ones that are fucked up, and that's why they're saying it. So that as soon as I could click into that, it bothered me less.
That's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
And I mean, there'd be times where I'd fucking drag these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Right. And she'd be like, Brandon, I
literally would.
I
would wait.
Not as your legal counsel, as your friend.
I wouldn't even say it in the group, just quietly decide to be like, hey, just so you know, you might want to delete
as
that
a text.
Right.
As a friend, not as an attorney, but as a friend.
Yeah, just looking out. That's my job.
But no, I haven't done that in years. I got better at it.
For whatever reason.
I used to lash out too, but honestly, it's more enjoyable if you troll them. You're great at doing that.
I got a lot better.
It's way funnier if you troll them and more enjoyable. Or I'm so proud of my Instagram community because it's to the point where if they start saying stuff like that about me, it happens. They attack them, and it's great.
And that's how the beer group is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you have your community, they'll defend you because they know how you are.
And you don't even need to read it because you got the people take care of it for you.
But I've had a few when I go after you where people, maybe they don't know we're friends or what, but I'll go after you and then they fucking attack me and I love it. I'm like, here we go. Let's do it.
Thinking they're doing you a solid by fighting with.
Just shred me.
That
Yeah.
happened to me. My boyfriend at the time was harassing me on a TikTok live one time, and one of my moderators blocked him because he was saying dirty stuff. And so at the end, he called me. He's like, "Why didn't you respond to me at all like that?" I was posting and trying, and I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And we found out it's because he got blocked, and then I couldn't figure out how to unblock him. So I'm like, "You're just blocked now, I guess." I can't figure it out.
Sorry.
Yeah. Shouldn't say shit like that.
So keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, I forgot we were talking about the
Baldwin,
Brady
yeah.
violation. So basically, that special prosecutor, some people really didn't like the way she was doing things. If you watch the clips online, she gave them a lot of fodder for being kind of difficult appearing. And long story short, there were some bullets that were the same bullets used on set that someone turned into the police. They knew they were related to the Rust shooting, but they did not put that on the case in the discovery, which is all the evidence. That's what we call all the evidence. So they didn't put it on the case, put it on a second case with a different number so it would just be quiet and go away. We don't know the relevance of the bullets, the details. I don't know if they were mixed dummies and rounds, which
Right.
would have been related to the case, because he could have said they were mixed up. How would I know? Or things
Why are
like
they
that.
there? I don't.
So,
I don't
but
get that
anyway,
either.
They didn't
Like-
disclose that evidence, and they knew about it, which it came out during trial, so it's called a Brady violation. If the prosecutor doesn't disclose any and all evidence, whether it's helpful or not, then one of the remedies is the case can get dismissed. And so that's what happened with Alec Baldwin's case, is because the jury was already sworn in, so we already have double jeopardy, no redos once the jury's sworn in. And the whole case, in the middle of trial, they found this out, so the judge dismissed the case, and he cannot be charged again.
So he's good to go. He's free and clear.
Criminally, not civilly.
So he could
Yeah.
pay it.
But
Yeah.
in
Fucking money,
your
he's not going to jail.
so in your opinion, do you think he walks out of this unscathed from a personal for when the family goes after him?
No, for sure someone's paying. Yeah.
Someone is it going to
multiple
be
entities
him
are
though?
Going to be paying, I
Yeah,
think.
dude, it was like a husband, had kids, like all that shit. Like just wife, just
No, it sucks. The whole thing
Multiple
sucks.
people.
But
everybody pays.
Yeah.
that.
if the shoe's on the
people
other
paying.
foot and somebody shoots Andrea and it's an actor, so if Tom Cruise shoots my wife, she's the film person, I'm not going to go, that's such a fucking Tom move. I knew it. He
knew it
brought
was
real bullets. Like, I just have a hard time. I get it. I want to get paid, right? Somebody just died. My kid's mother's no longer with us. I want to get paid. I don't know if I'm going after the guy who was handed what he
You
thought
wouldn't
was
get
a fake
choice.
gun.
Here's what happens. If you came to me with that case, you don't get a choice. We have to sue everyone that can be involved.
Right.
You only get one whack at it. And so there are people you can dismiss, or if you want to collect X amount, you can decide Alec Baldwin only pays $1,000. These people pay the $1 million or something like that.
Right.
You can decide how that goes. But just so you know, if you have a case like that, you don't get a choice. You just, you have to sue everyone.
Right. Okay. Noted.
But yeah. And it's not personal. He has tons of money. He's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
He's probably happy to pay because he's not going to jail. You know what I mean? I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right.
I mean, he's good. Yeah, he's like that's the
Yeah.
least of his.
Do you think
fucking-
the jurors take into consideration, because he's kind of a prick, right? Alec Baldwin's kind of a
Allegedly,
prick.
yeah.
I feel like he's
allegedly?
so I'm told. I wonder if that factors into it.
So I think he should be glad that his trial got dismissed, because he was doing some kind of assholey things that could be perceived that way at the beginning of the trial, like getting up in the middle of I can't remember what part of the trial it was, but like you're not allowed to just get up and leave the room. It's like when you're in school, you have to ask to use the bathroom. You can't just
He would
get
just
up
get
and
up and
leave.
go.
He got up and left, and everyone's like, well, maybe he was about to shit his pants or something. And I'm like, okay, no, he comes back with coffee. I know.
That
So,
would
like,
be me.
in front of the-
That would
yeah.
so be
I didn't
me.
know I
But
couldn't do that.
You can't do that. Yeah. And
Right.
maybe that was on his lawyers not being like, you can't leave the, or like I had a trial recently where, but I'm also maybe a little more insane than his lawyers, where the client would be like, can I go take a smoke break? And I was like, absolutely not. Like,
Are
sit
you
down. We're in the middle of
serious?
freaking
Yeah,
trial.
wear
Like,
a
no.
fucking patch.
But his
Jesus.
lawyer, I think, was like, when you look at them, he's like, I'll be right back. And his lawyer's like, okay. Oh, wait, you can't, like, we're in the middle of trial, and he's already gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
So-
determining your future right now. You
Yeah,
might want to
need
sit
look
in on
like a
this
little-
one.
little
Maybe
church boy and
look
sit there
concerned.
crying. Yeah,
Maybe look
cry.
like you're upset that
Maybe
this happened.
you should shit your pants.
I did show you the I did
Not
show you the
legal advice.
video. I did show you the video where they had the lady and they were asking her questions, and she's like something about she's like, yeah, I respect his acting and blah blah blah, and whoever's questioning her was
that
like,
was the special
oh yeah, you
prosecutor. Yeah.
you also said that
A
you thought he was a
cocksucker.
cocksucker.
Yeah,
And
that was great.
He
You
just
showed-
pops up like that, like,
Then he
God
was
damn it,
listening.
how
But
funny
my
would that have
favorite
been?
part, so this was like beautiful lawyering. I'm so glad you brought this up, because when he said that, she said, I don't think I did that, but she would never deny it, because
She goes,
then he doubled down and said, on the record, are you denying that you said that, or you don't recall saying that?
Right.
And she literally paused and goes, I don't remember everything I've ever said. So there's a possibility
That's
in her
a
head that she
huge
said that.
fucking-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some shit that Andrea will catch me doing something, and I'd be like, that doesn't sound like something I would
would
do.
never do that.
It's not a
Yeah.
denial. It's not an admission.
Yeah.
Just
doesn't-
That
it's-
was
yeah.
just really beautiful lawyering on. He got good lawyers that did a good job.
so
Who's the lady that said that?
The special
the
prosecutor.
special prosecutor, yeah.
So they had
and then
her
she
on the
tried to,
stand.
she basically
You can do that.
Yes, whenever they withheld evidence, the prosecutor becomes a witness that can then be questioned.
Oh wow.
So when the prosecutor becomes a witness, the jury is dismissed, and it's questions by counsel and possibly the judge to be like, why didn't you turn the evidence over? Because that's how the judge will determine the remedy. If
Right.
it looks intentional, it's more severe punishment. But if it's like a genuine accident, there can be some different remedy
Right.
than just dismissal. So she got called up on the stand because she became a witness to say why she didn't produce the bullets. She said she kind of kept flip-flopping. Did you see this in the clip too?
No.
Where she was like, well, I just didn't, I looked at them and they didn't look even related, so whatever. But it's not up to her. You still have to turn it over. And then later she's like, well, I
What's
don't
that got to
even,
do with anything?
later she's like, I didn't even know what they were actually.
Right.
So she was just saying conflicting things that didn't add up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can be a witness. Yeah. And then I think they actually questioned the entire investigative crew. Like the people that received the bullets at the police station and everyone to say why they didn't do it. And all of them said, we did give it to her. She didn't want to put it in the case. So that was really bad for them.
Duh.
So what I got out of this, you and I could never be attorneys because literally everything you just said right there, I'm like
We could
trying
be
to
jurors.
follow
You
it.
could do
Like,
it.
so,
You
okay.
could do
We
it.
could be good
Yeah.
jurors.
No,
bro.
they
You
I
would
think
be
I
good.
think they'd throw us off in a fucking
I'd like
heartbeat.
you on the jury
Yeah.
if you were on my side.
There you
But
go.
Yeah.
Throw in a
the best thing, well,
good word.
I would like you in jury selection because whenever you talk, you're talking in front of all the other jurors. So I know you said you hadn't been served before, but so you're kind of like a cattle call. There's like can be hundreds of people or like 60 people. And so part of what we do during jury selection is we want to contaminate the rest of the jury with questions from people like you.
Oh,
who are
I'd be
very
great at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you ever get called for jury duty, they'll probably, if they find out that you're talkative, they'll want you to talk a lot because you're going to be contaminating the rest
Oh,
of the
he's
jury.
a fucking yeah.
Oh, I'd be the best.
Oh yeah.
So,
You're
like-
a professional
Yeah.
contaminator.
So for like Alec Baldwin's case, you could be like, who here's ever, had a gun or who thinks they should be punished if it was accident and it wasn't
Right.
He didn't load it. And you had an opinion on it. We'd want him to talk for like 20 minutes because I want everyone to hear that opinion and be like, oh yeah, I do agree with that. Or we go, who doesn't agree with Tim? And then I talk to those people. I know I like those people more if I'm on the other side.
Who selects the jury?
So when you get called in for the jury, and both parties select the jury. So there's voir dire, which you ask a bunch of questions. I can ask you pretty much anything, ranging from who here has kids.
As the
who here
the defense attorney, right? Or as the which one?
both
Yeah,
of them
both.
do. We
Yeah,
both talk
both.
to
You-
the jury. Yeah, we both talk to the jury, and then once we get done with it, it can last 2 hours or 3 days. Once we get done with it, we take notes on every single person. Have you ever watched that TV show Bull?
Yes.
Okay, it's kind of accurate as far as like we know all sorts of background information about you before you even come sit in the chair. And then with that background information, I can creep on Facebook, Instagram, other
Right.
creepy websites that give me your information and let me know if you rent or own. I can see how many cars you have by the property taxes that you pay or don't pay, and like if you have a warrant or criminal history. Or if you've like for our one trial was a repossession case where the dealership unlawfully repossessed a car. And so anyone that had debt collection actions on CaseNet or similar things, we wanted them on the jury, and the other side tried to strike them for that. So
Right.
like, we know all this stuff about you.
You wanted
before
them to
you-
go give him his
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
and that's
Fuck
what they
that.
did. They did do that, yeah.
No shit.
So
That's funny.
we both pick the jury after we ask questions and take our notes. Then the jury's dismissed, and then we go up in front of the judge and we say who we want struck for cause. Like if you said "fuck Alec Baldwin," we're gonna strike you for cause
Right.
for saying that. Or if she's like,
So
who
you get out
thinks-
of jury duty.
Like, well, no, we can tell if you're just being like, because it's actually scarier to do in front of the judge if you start getting belligerent like that, because they can call you up and be like, do you actually believe that? Because if I don't believe that you believe that and you're doing it to get out of jury duty, you can be held to
No,
contempt.
not fuck Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, so
I'm
like,
sorry,
it's
Your
actually,
Honor.
most people don't fuck around there because it is more
Right.
intimidating, But yeah, you can make opinions like that would make you
Here's
undesirable.
okay. Here's one thing, and you said you've never been on a jury before, right? Have you?
No, they'll never let me. Be
I've always been curious on what cases is where it has to be unanimous. Like there can
It
be a
depends
hung.
on the case. And it depends on the court too. Like different courts have different rules, like different jurisdictions. I mean,
Right.
But like for our jury, God, I'm trying to remember. I think we had like 9 jurors, and we only needed 7 out of 9 to
For what?
agree on
Which
the chart
case?
on the repo case. Or like if you're a criminal, you need it to be unanimous because people are going to jail.
Right.
You ever seen that movie
civil
Jury
not.
Duty with Pauly Shore?
Man, it's been a long time.
I
Yeah.
ask you this all the time, and you fucking have no
Yeah.
idea. I don't know
Okay.
why I always bring this
Yeah.
up. Great movie, but he's the one fucking juror that doesn't think that the guy did the murder.
That would probably
and all
be
the
me.
other people
Yeah.
hate him. All the other jurors can't stand him.
Right.
But then turns out he was right.
Right.
Well,
Spoiler.
that's what the system's for. You know, ideally it's supposed to be like that. If they don't all agree, then
Well,
you
because
get guilty.
here's my question: is like, so we watch. My wife is all into these like murder shows and shit like
I
that.
love true crime.
And I am the
Yeah,
worst where it's like a murder case and they show a guy and just based on how he looks, I'm like, he fucking totally did it.
So,
you know?
actually,
Guilty.
Yeah. I would
We-
suck.
Those are questions that we ask the jury. Like when we were in the repo trial, the defense lawyer was like, who here just doesn't like how my client looks and thinks that they would find against him for that? Nobody raised their hand, but like we do ask questions
Right.
like that to be like, do you just not
You
like
see a
him?
lot of eyebrows going
Yeah,
up like,
yeah.
I don't know about that.
And we're
yeah.
watching everyone like hawks. So if you're like, yeah, that guy's shady, then I'm going to write that down on your number.
But I'm saying on the opposite end. So if we get in a room, it's got to be unanimous, and there's what usually 12 jurors, right? And that usually the number or 8, whatever.
It depends on if it's criminal or civil. I think for most courts, criminal, I think it is 12.
So I would walk in and go if it's 8 and 7 people are like, we think he did it, and I'm going, look, I 100% do not think this guy did it. You can say whatever the fuck you want. I'm not changing my mind. Does it just end right there, or
No.
do you have to be in there for a certain amount of time, or
You don't have to be in there for a certain amount of time, but the jury foreperson is the one who completes the verdict
Mm-hmm.
forms, and you don't get to leave unless everyone agrees and will like sign off on that's their vote on the verdict form.
Right.
So if usually what happens in that situation, my understanding is, you can complete your verdict form or say, oh, we can't come to agreement on just this one. The judge will tell you, go back and try longer. Like, you're not
Right.
going home until you do it. So the judge will just make you deliberate longer. And so, like, for our repo case, I can't remember how. I think the deliberations were only like 2 hours, but they couldn't agree right away on one of the counts. And so we were like, oh, great. Because we thought we were going to be there all night. Because the judge will make you stay there until you guys sort it out.
Right.
Usually.
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever represent anybody and you look, well, I probably shouldn't ask this question, but, you know, as an attorney, you're thinking the whole time, this motherfucker did. I know for a fact you didn't. You didn't pay your car payment. Of course you got repoed. I'll represent you.
I don't have repo clients, so I don't do that.
Right.
But it was hard when I used to represent a lot of people for DWIs.
Right.
And it would be hard because we'd get like the footage that they don't remember.
Right.
And then
Like
I'm
body
like in
cam
court
and
being
shit.
like, they just have diabetes, Your Honor.
They're not drunk.
Yeah, I know. So that was the only time where I no longer do that area
Right,
of law for that
right.
reason, you know.
That would be
But-
tough, I think, you know, like,
I mean, as a lawyer, it's just part of the torture of like law school and all the stuff you do is like, I no longer have opinions. I just know the analysis. Like,
Right,
I'm kind of
right.
like a weird robot now for some things
Right.
like that. So like,
Yeah.
I don't take any of it personally. Frankly, I don't care. Like, I just want my money at the end of the day most
Yeah.
of the
Right.
Yeah.
or help whoever I'm helping. And so like, I can put it most of the time, I can put it aside. If you can't, you're not supposed to represent a person, obviously.
Right.
But for the most part, we can separate that. Like, it's totally different for me. Or everyone's favorite question was always like, would you represent a sex offender? Or, you know, things like that. And like, my honest answer is like, for the right price, probably, yeah. Like, is that messed up? Sure.
Right.
But it's like different. Your brain works so much differently when you switch over to being a lawyer because you're like, everyone needs a job. Everyone deserves a defense. You have constitutional rights for it. Would I do that actually? No. But like if someone gave me $1
Right.
million, I'd probably
you'd
would.
be like Brad Pitt in Sleepers, which if you've never
No,
seen,
I've
have
never
you ever
seen
seen? You haven't?
No.
You got to see it. You've seen it, haven't
Oh,
you?
of course.
Fucking top 5 movie. You'll love it,
Okay.
especially as an attorney.
Okay.
Sleepers.
Well, is it a
You'll
legal
love it.
video? I usually don't
100%.
Okay, I usually don't like legal videos.
Yeah, but it's
This is
Brad
like all I
Pitt.
do.
It's young prime Brad Pitt. I
Like
mean,
everyone
it's
loves
it's good.
Suits, and I'm like, please stop telling me to watch Suits.
I keep getting told I need to watch it because I
don't-
remind them of somebody.
Isn't that like
It's
an
like
old
work.
show they just brought back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
or
apparently
something?
it's really good. And if you ever want me to watch
I-
something, play to my vanity and go, you remind me of this guy, and then I'll fucking binge watch it.
I have a beef
into it.
with Suits because it like makes the whole job sexy and everyone thinks like you resolve a case in a day or they'll have like the mic drop moments and that is not like that happens maybe once in your career. you
Right.
know?
Like Lincoln lawyer shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow.
Or like my
God.
clients
The
will
jury's
they'll
stunned.
be like, my depo, that was it. And I'm like, he's like, no one yelled at me or tried to fist fight me or whatever. I'm like, that's because that's a TV show.
Right,
You know?
right.
That doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I also I forgot to we're about 40 minutes into this and I never
Already?
told, and I know I never told anybody why I'm
Jesus.
wearing this fucking bright
Oh,
red
good thing you
shirt.
remembered.
Yeah, so if you even made it, half the people probably turned off and were like, that guy's such a douchebag.
Right.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm wearing this red shirt because Stella is getting her heart today.
Nice.
Stella's the little girl that we did all the Christmas cards for.
Yeah.
Last December in the hospital. She's been sitting there. She's 4 years old, and she's getting a heart transplant today.
Wow.
And I encouraged everybody on the on my Facebook group and my followings to wear red today.
You got to text me. I
Yeah,
bought a
we
red.
would've-
I bought
I
a
totally
red
forgot to
cup.
tell you guys. I didn't tell
Paige
you guys
just
shit.
said, "Fuck it,
I-
red nails,
we-
pink nails."
No, I totally
We
did this
would've worn
late
red.
last night. Like,
Right.
You
Yeah.
have not seen it. I fucked
I'm
up
wearing
and
red
it was
panties
a
if that
last-minute
matters.
thing.
Oh my gosh.
It does. But yeah, that's why. So anybody want to?
Yeah, wear red today.
What the fuck he's wearing?
So keep us updated on that. Like, what's the recovery time and like how does all that work? Like
12 to 14-hour surgery.
Wow.
Jesus.
Starts in like 2 hours. And dude, it's just kind of, it's sad though. It's like a bittersweet thing. Like some little girl had to die
Yeah.
to give her that heart.
Yeah.
too. You know, it's like fuck. So
Oh,
prayers
I
for
didn't
both
even think
families.
about that.
So for both
Oh.
families, obviously, anybody listening, keep them in your thoughts. Not to change
That's
the
a good
tune. All
point.
Yeah.
fucking
No,
downer,
that's a
but
good point
anything-
because I didn't
but-
even consider the other family loss
Yeah.
too. That's
yeah,
sad.
yeah,
that
it's
does
fucked.
suck. Yeah.
It's fucked. World sucks.
I'm a donor and I've got stipulations. Whoever gets whatever from me, which they probably will look
Oh,
at my
really?
parts and go,
I
nah,
didn't
we're
know you could
okay.
make
Rather
stipulations.
die.
Yeah,
like that.
it's they got to get a tattoo of my name on them. If yeah,
what you
so if
said.
you
And they
get
have to
one of
say
my
thank you at
Yep,
every holiday.
you get a kidney,
I'm
Tim
here.
tattoo. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit where you
Yeah.
put it. I just
Uh-huh.
want to be remembered.
That's
you
all.
know.
Oh,
I love your vanity. It's
Thank
my
you.
favorite thing.
Yeah,
about you.
it's.
It's by far
never
my
heard
favorite thing
about
about
that.
So you never. So going back to what you said, because one of the reasons I always wanted to be an attorney was the mic drop moment. Because I think I would be fucked once I know I've won, and it's just a matter of time. You just got to say whatever you got to.
Severely disappointed.
Really,
Yeah.
you get
would
to
go
be
home pissed
cocky.
every day.
Yeah.
So what
Didn't
you're
have-
telling me, Mr. Baldwin, was you did not check a gun before, like doing
So
that
you
whole.
only get to do those things if you're a trial attorney. and
Right.
You do litigation, which is like high stress, high pressure. Everyone's always motherfucking each other.
Yeah.
Like it's constant turmoil. So that's why everyone's nuts, like at that level. Like it's really hard not to be. That's why I'm in so much therapy to not be that way.
Right.
Because it's easy to happen. So yeah, you don't really get that many mic drop moments though, because most of it's like honestly paperwork. Most of it's just fighting with the other side and doing motions and pleadings and paperwork. Maybe during a depo you can get into someone a little bit if they're being shitty, but most of the time you don't get your mic drop moment. I did get to do one during my trial, which was really cool because it was like a mechanic I was questioning. That last minute they alleged that our client cut their own brake lines to have a broken car that got repossessed, which isn't true, and that's the first time it came up during trial. And then he was this like real weasel rat tail guy. Like it was so funny because everyone thinks I'm dumb, and I just some things I am, and I lean into it. And I was like, I don't really know anything about cars. Can you explain to me more about what you're saying happened? And he was like, oh yeah, and he was like over explaining it because I'm like, I don't understand what a whatever is, and he
Right.
would like, over explain it. And he's like, well, I could see the tool marks, and and then he's like, well, I took pictures of it. And then all of a sudden, have you ever seen that GIF of Maleficent where she's like turns evil all of a sudden?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was literally
Yeah.
me because they didn't produce any pictures and we're in the middle of
You're
trial.
like,
So I was like,
Discovery should have had that, right?
100%. And so I still didn't. Good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Vocab
My
word.
man.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
vocab word.
Thank you.
So
Counselor.
I was like, before I got wicked though, I was like, how many pictures did you take? When did you take them?
Yeah,
How
you're
did
like,
you get them?
and why weren't they submitted?
Yeah.
And so then I heard
And why would you have taken pictures?
Well, that's and
That's a better
we asked him that, and he said because he thought it was suspicious. And so my mic drop moment was I heard my mentor's voice in my head because trial's so stressful and like nervous. I don't care who you are, you're freaking out. So he's always like, before you end, because once you're done with questions, you're done. You can't open up a witness again. So he's always said, go take a moment, review your notes, make sure you didn't miss anything,
Right.
and then you can be done. And in the moment of just doing that and taking a break and coming back, I like switched into the mean because I knew exactly where I was going to go. I couldn't do it again if I tried because it just kind of happened.
Like blacked out and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just blacked out like on those, the demons on Supernatural when their eyes turn black. That
and
was
you just
probably
fucking
me.
rolled out. Then you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like Will
like,
Ferrell in
literally.
Old School when
Like,
he's
when I sat
debating
back down.
whatchamacallit.
What happened? I blacked out.
He
That's
just comes
literally what
back.
it felt like because I did get really a cool moment where I was like, and why did you delete pictures that were part of ongoing litigation?
Right.
Is it because of this because you had to prove that you're not a bad mechanic and that's not why the car is broken and that's why you're making this up now, isn't it? And he's like, but, and I'm like, no further questions. And the judge told him to shut up.
Fuck yeah.
It was
That's what
great.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
it
right
was really
there.
cool,
That's
but like
a
I said, I couldn't
euphoria.
even do it again. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
literally
like-
sat down and I was like,
And you just
happened?
walk up and you high five your client.
Well,
See, I'd be
they
doing
both-
shit like that. It'd
They
be
both
terrible.
Did and they passed me a note and they were like, thanks for grilling him and like, and so it was fun.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you guys
But
can
that doesn't happen normally.
Right.
So don't get excited because that's a very rare thing. Most of the time you cry.
I would try to glamorize every single fucking try.
No.
Yeah.
Were you going 55 and a 50?
Yeah. Mr.
Well-
Trifletti, it's a jaywalking charge. Can you
Yeah.
please fucking put the charts away, sir?
The
Thank
No
you.
further
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, the judge and jury would probably not like
Yeah,
that.
you'd-
Right.
They only like it when you tear into people that deserve it. Like we had the owner of the company of the trial that I'm talking about was this old man. He was kind of confused. He didn't really know what was going on. And so like he wasn't like, fuck that guy. That's why I took his car. And so we didn't want them to feel too sympathetic for him because he was very confused and
He was the attorney for the.
he was the owner of the company.
That
And
that
so-
Toad that came and took the guy.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, and he really just kind of didn't know what was going on, and so my law partner did like get kind of mean with him, and he wasn't answering questions and things like that. So it started going there, and it was so funny because like my job, I'm watching the jury to see what they're doing, and they all start not liking it when she's like beating up on this old man.
Picking on this old man.
And
right.
he did deserve it, but there's a fine line of when to stop.
Yeah.
And she did
Right.
it fine, and then she came back. So I'm sitting there calm because I thought my parts were already over, you know,
Right.
that we had planned for. And she's like, you got to go up and question the mechanic because the jury doesn't like me right now because of what just happened. So like that mic drop moment was totally on the fly too. And I don't do that well. So I was like, wow.
Fuck yeah. That's
yeah.
That's cool.
nice.
Yeah. So that was fun. Oh, so the Brady violation we were talking about from Alec Baldwin earlier, there is a new motion for sanctions for a Brady violation in that Bar PM case with the city cops. Do you care we talk about that?
No, not. But
Absolutely.
but can you-
Jump
real quick,
in.
real quick. What is a Brady violation?
The Brady violation is when the prosecutor doesn't turn the evidence over.
Okay.
So it's called exculpatory evidence. You want to learn that word today
Exculpatory.
too?
A sculpatory.
that.
Say that once.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Fuck.
See, I
Come
thought,
on.
I'm like, is that a real estate thing?
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
like a fucking
it's a real estate
procedure.
term.
Yeah, I got to get
Exculpatory evidence
exculpated.
is evidence
yeah,
that can
anal.
be used to show that the defendant is innocent, for example. So,
Oh, okay.
so they have to turn.
I would
over-
figure that would be just like a standard.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it is.
I didn't think it'd have a term.
They have to turn over any evidence, good or bad.
Right.
Bad evidence for the prosecutor is exculpatory, and they have to turn it over. If they don't, like in the Baldwin trial, the case got dismissed.
Right.
So the St. Louis, I'm so into like
Yeah,
St.
talk
Louis
about the
scandal.
tell
I love
start
St.
start it from the
Louis
top on
scandals.
what happened so people
Tell
are
them who
familiar
not
with
to get pulled over by.
So, what's his name? It's Ramel Williams. Officer Ramel Williams will actually. You might want to get pulled over so you can sue the city. So.
There it is. Ramel, if
anyway.
I'm ever down there, beat the shit out of me, buddy. Like seriously.
So I'm
Just
pretty
as
sure-
long as you record it.
I
I'm
got you,
pretty
dude.
sure
I'll be
that's
with
his name.
it.
I know his first name is Ramel. I think the last name is Williams. But anyway, so like sometime late last year, there was a St. Louis City patrol car that drove into Bar PM, which is a well-known LGBTQ bar in the city. And there's video footage of it happening.
And when you say drove into, fucking drove into
Like the
it.
video.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
So
All
there
right.
was a video of him flying through a red light, and at the next intersection is the one that caught him hit the building. And he's flying by, slows down, turns, and goes right into the bar, and like hits the bottom level of the bar. So, and he at first he said, because everyone's like, why did that happen? And at first he said he swerved to hit a dog, but when the video was
to miss a
real-
dog.
To miss a
Oh,
dog,
sorry.
yeah. Swear-
Well,
you know,
you never
he's
know
a
with
cat
that.
guy.
You never
Yeah.
know with Ramel. So.
Yeah.
So he swerved to miss a dog is the first thing. Or not Ramel said this, but the officer that hit the building, I don't know who that was off the top of my head. He said he swerved to miss hitting a dog. When the video was released and there was no dog, he said, well, he actually swerved because he was messing with the radio. And so that's how that all happened.
Which, see, if I'm a juror, pause. I hear that, I'm immediately like,
Right.
you're guilty.
Yeah.
You don't get
Well, why do you have you ever like turned the radio up and automatically just fucking jerked the wheel in a different direction?
if I ran into a bar, that's probably what I would say happened. But no, that's never personally
can't-
happened to me.
It's not that.
I'm a natural.
It doesn't
I
happen.
yeah, right
I have a
there.
confession to make that I've never told anyone before besides my best friend.
Uh-oh.
I
That's
good.
used the radio excuse one time for when I caused a car accident. And that's what I think you say when you don't want to say what you were actually doing.
Which
By
is
experience. For me, I was looking up Taylor Swift on YouTube to listen on the way back from Jefferson City because it was before like Spotify and stuff. It was like back in the day.
Yeah.
But that's how I wrecked my car. But I said I was looking through my purse for a chapstick, Mom.
Duh.
see, I go way above and beyond on my lies.
Oh.
But go back
Well,
to
that's
what
a bad
Ramel.
one.
Go back.
Yours would have been a whole thing.
Dude, I am the fucking king of getting out of tickets, though. I'll tell you later what I do.
Oh.
And it's not what you think. That came out so fucking weird. No.
tell you later what I do.
No. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
it's
keep going. So he runs into.
Okay, so after he hit the bar, the owners of the bar had just closed. It was like 3 a.m. They just closed. They come downstairs to see what the hell's going on. because it probably sounded like an earthquake happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like a brick building. So anyway, they come downstairs. Words were exchanged. It's unclear what actually happened because the city won't release the body cam footage that I'm aware of. They still won't release it.
And
Yeah.
why?
They should have to,
How is
right?
that
Yeah,
not
exactly.
a mandated? You have to release it.
It is.
What?
It is, and I'll get to that in a
Okay.
minute. Yeah.
All right.
So, because remember the Brady violation, because
Right.
they're not producing that information or
That's
the
exculpatory.
evidence.
That's why.
Oh yeah, look at you go, 2 for 2.
Found our side
get-
project.
Oh, dude.
Talking to me and Trifaletti.
You need to
Attorneys
do
at law.
like on the bottom of the video being like vocab word of like the
Oh, yeah.
definition coming
Yeah,
up. That'd be
I got
cute.
this.
Okay, I'll try to give you another one as we're sitting here for if it comes up.
I bet you
You're
already
doing
know it.
great.
I'll already know it.
Yeah,
I hit
probably.
Discovery.
Yeah, you're crushing it. The disclaimer itself
Exculpatory.
was,
Yeah.
I'm listening.
You're
I'm
killing
dialed in.
it.
I'm on this new medicine. Makes me Eddie Mora from Limitless.
Right.
Really?
Vyvanse.
Oh.
I'm on day like 4 of
Really?
Vyvanse, and I am
Oh,
fucking
Maybe I should get that.
like normally. Like I'm dialed in, listening to every fucking word
I
you're
should try
saying.
that then, because my
Dude,
ADHD is like raging.
You know, mine is horrid.
Mine's
Everybody
terrible,
knows that.
but you can tell I'm invested in this story because I'm going
No.
to play the role of Adderall right now
Yeah.
and say, keep going.
No.
Because I want to know what
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm dialed
Yeah,
in on
that's
this
good to
shit.
know.
Like,
Right.
I'm hearing every fucking thing.
Good to
It's
know.
weird.
a sculpatory.
Exculpatory.
Oh, that's why he's
Yeah.
remembering his vocab.
Right.
Good job.
I'm just sitting here just repeating it.
You're playing the role of Adderall. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
It's unclear what exactly happened because they're not producing those videos, but words were exchanged. I guess the owners were understandably angry that the cops drove into their bar, and then they started kind of roughing them up, allegedly. The defendant, the owner of the thing, was charged with resisting arrest and assault. They say that he tried to assault a police officer.
Probably defending himself.
Because there was an iron gate that the cop chased him out of while he just walked back into his house to get something or do something, and that was resisting arrest. It was him going back to get something before he was arrested.
Right.
And so then they also arrested his husband for videotaping this while it happened because they don't want anything to be seen about this. Like they don't even want the body cam produced. So they arrested both of them. I don't know the husband's charges off the top of my head if he actually was charged.
I was
but
going to say, what do they charge him
owner-
with?
The owner is charged with assault and resisting arrest. And so that case has been pending. He's got really good lawyers. He's got 3 lawyers working on it. They've been fighting it, trying to make them produce stuff. I'm going to post the motion on my page later because they made a motion for sanctions, basically asking the judge to punish the prosecutor's office because they won't turn over the exculpatory evidence, which
So
is
who
a
did
Brady
that?
violation.
The attorney for the
The
dudes.
city.
Like, and that's my thing. As a judge, isn't that the first thing you say is everything you got, turn it over to them.
Yeah.
Everything you've got, turn it over. Like,
Yeah.
For sure, they will. And so it's set for a hearing next week. But the attorneys, they wrote this brilliant motion. I love including like screenshots and emails of what the other
Which
people
attorneys?
said.
When you say the attorneys,
The owner's attorneys. Sorry.
No,
They wrote this brilliant motion and are like included things that the prosecutor said that they're not even going to ask the police for the video camera footage that they're wanting that's related, and if they want it, they'll have to get it themselves or like do all this extra stuff, which is not how that goes. So I would think the judge is going to rule and be like, you have to produce it or else.
you would have
But
to.
as part of the sanctions, they're asking for the charge to be dismissed too, because it sounds kind of frivolous to begin with. So
I
Yeah.
feel like, okay, if I'm a judge and I go, all right.
Which
this
you'd
is
make a great
your
one, by the way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
you
It's
should
like,
be the Winsville judge whenever.
dude,
Wouldn't that be so funny?
Yeah, I
they
would
got
do
me
the
on
old
planning
school
and zoning
parlor. I'd
already.
have like
I might go for alderman
Yeah,
next
you're
year.
on
I don't
your
know
way
what the
there.
fuck.
I'd have the outfit, the white, curly hair wig coming down,
Can't
and
wait till I'm here on, like a Tuesday at 9 a.m. and Brandon's there as the judge, and I'll be like, "Good morning, Your Honor."
I'll be like, hey, how you doing?
yeah. Anyway, so keep going.
But
No, he'd probably be like, "Hold this bitch in contempt." I'm just kidding.
Right.
Like he'd be.
they'd take you away. I don't even know. It would be a fucking one day, an hour of me as a judge.
Right.
And the whole fucking justice system
You
collapses.
should coordinate that with Judge Mike Carter. Like, just sit up there for a minute and
Just
do like
kinda
a skit.
fake
yeah.
somebody out.
Have
Yeah.
you seen the Instagram thing? Okay, so much for me being Adderall. Have you seen the Instagram thing where it's a judge, it's a black judge, black defendant, and they're in some whatever the case is. She's suing the ex-boyfriend, and she's like, "Well, we met. He was in a fraternity at LSU," and the judge is like, "What fraternity?" And the guy was like, whatever, Q Dog or whatnot, and the judge was like. Like that, and then
Oh
the other
my
like that would be me, like
over.
what's up,
You're
man?
not supposed to do that.
Right,
I'd
at
imagine
all,
not.
at all.
I'd
I'd
imagine
be
not.
like, "Can you recuse yourself for doing the gang
Yeah.
sign
At
with the
all.
fraternity?"
We're
Yeah.
not supposed to do that. But like I was saying, so this is where the Vyvanse kicked in. I would have
Tell
forgot
ya.
this motherfucker.
There it
I would have
is.
forgot.
That makes me want to try it.
I got. I talked to your doctor.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
don't
meant.
have any
That's
for
what
you.
I meant.
Tell them all
Talk
your
to your
symptoms.
doctor.
Don't be exculpatory
Yeah, don't
with
be
it.
exculpatory.
Like,
Don't
be-
right?
Good
Is that
job.
it? Boom.
Good
Bingo.
job.
All right.
But no, I would think if you're in a fucking a judge, a whole trial. You're
Right.
the judge, and you go, wait a minute. Okay, you're telling me what happened over here. You're telling me what happened over here, and somebody has recorded footage of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can we just watch that and fucking cut all the other shit out?
Yeah, so that's one of
Like-
the judge might do that. The judge might be like,
a
I
duh.
want to see that.
How is that a
evidence first.
might? How is that not the
No,
very
no,
first
there's-
thing?
No. And there's different steps. Like he couldn't just be like order them to produce it, or if he wants to see it, he can do an in-camera review before it's produced if they have a reason they're not disclosing it. Like what I think they're probably going to say is because he's suing them civilly for the civil rights violations. Oh, the same officer has done this repeatedly. He has a history of doing this. He sued this. He caused the city. Look how excited I am. I can't even
love
talk. He caused the city to be sued for civil rights violation for the same thing, arresting someone who didn't do anything and beating the shit out of them and breaking their leg. They had to pay $125,000 to settle that civil rights lawsuit because it's the same officer. They just let him do this. So the motion says like the only thing good Kim Gardner did was have that like opt-out list of bad officers. Basically,
Right.
she wouldn't prosecute any charges they brought. It's for guys like this. So was that a good solution? No. Just they need to be off the force.
What is that all about? Like
What?
you've got your untouchable list. Like, oh, that's
So-
just Ramel. That's just
Yeah.
what he does.
So,
you know,
like,
like he's
because-
misunderstood.
Because the police department won't fire people like Ramel, she made an exclusion list because she can't prosecute anything they get charged with. Because us defense attorneys, like when I was doing it, we all talk. We all tell each other what officers do stuff. We keep
Right.
track of that because if they have a history, we can use that as evidence or at least make arguments to say this is what they're known to do. So instead of having to deal with that, like her office didn't want to deal with it, they just wouldn't charge people that the cops brought charges on the excluded list. And so they should have just been fired, but she just wouldn't prosecute the people doing it because that's the first thing they'd say is like a laundry list of things Ramel has done, you know?
Yeah.
He's just got a temper. You know,
guy.
they must have caught him on the wrong day.
Wait,
know,
I want to show you the
misunderstood, like you
picture
said.
because you said you like to just look at people and make a judgment.
100%.
Yeah,
wait,
bust
Yep.
it out.
Yep.
Let me show you the picture.
I'll admit it. I'm not like these fuckers
And I'll show
nowadays
it to
that they're
the
like,
cameras,
oh,
too.
I got to hear this. Nope, not me.
Yeah.
At
just-
first glance, guilty.
Anybody that's listening, if you want to watch this too, this whole thing is recorded on YouTube. Go to @BeerFamPodcast.
And then I'm also going
In
to
this
do
near let's drink beer.
I'm going to share it on my socials too. So, and a more detailed video with more than just this guy's picture. Okay, what do you think? Does he beat people up for fun? or-
100%.
I'm gonna say,
100%.
oh,
Without question.
I think
God.
he looks mean.
Yeah, without
that's
question.
the meanest guy I've seen.
It's so easy to smile. That's your yearbook photo, man. Like,
Or just
be
smiles
happy.
a little bit like Tyra Banks with your eyes, you know, even. But
So here's my question. How fucked are me and Brandon now? Like, when I get home, this airs what, Wednesday? So when we get home from
Wednesday.
work Wednesday
just
and that
don't go
guy's
into
sitting
the
in
city
my...
for a week.
It's over. Yeah,
you'll
I'm
be
going to the fucking city.
I'm gonna call you and go, look, you need to get to my house right now, drive up recording. That guy's sitting in my fucking driveway right now with a bat. All right? Just
God.
Oh yeah.
just don't let him
I
fuck my
think we-
face up,
I
all
think we
right?
talk
Like,
about him as much as possible
Yeah.
until he comes to
You
Yeah.
should
find
invite
us.
him on the podcast.
Yeah, get his side of the story.
Yeah.
look, if he's breaking my arm or something like that, let it happen. If he starts fucking my face up, jump in. All right? Like, that's what
Well,
I know
I'll
that.
tell
I
you,
got
those
you.
damages might be worth more with the face, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now at this point, no, we already fucked ourselves
Yeah,
out of the
true.
whole Ramel
Good
thing.
point. Good point.
So I
yeah.
can, at this
10 years
point-
ago. Now go ahead.
At
let
this
it
point,
rip.
I can run you over with my car and get away with it.
Yeah,
because
this
you
has been a
just-
productive fucking
yeah,
podcast.
Ramel could beat the fuck out of
I'm
you.
going to be a witness later to the lawsuit, too. Watch if.
Something.
Yeah, this is going to be Exhibit 12, like I
You
said.
know what that guy looked like? And I'm not. Look, I'm just. Whatever. All right.
I'm
we're
scared.
we're already already in
Whenever
it.
you qualify
We're-
something like that, I'm kind of scared.
We're already in this, so I might as well just
We
fucking
can
keep
chop
going.
out whatever we got to chop out.
He
I'm going to chop
looks-
out the thing earlier. I said legal
Hear me
advice,
out.
which
Hear
is
me
that.
out. He
Oh.
looks
I'm cutting that
like
out.
the guy where you're watching a movie and he's part of the whatever. He's part of the bad guys, right? And they go marching in and they're all wearing like uniforms. Like one's dressed like a doctor, one's dressed like a cop. And you're watching it going, nobody's going to fucking believe that guy
That guy's
right
a
there
cop.
is a cop. Somebody's going to question. That's what that
That's a
reminded me of
villain.
right
That's
there.
a villain.
100%.
That's a
Am
movie,
I wrong?
Movie villain. No, of
That's
course not.
100%.
mean,
Yeah.
The defense attorneys will tell you he is a villain from
Yeah.
from the history of that.
No, but that's a like Die Hard 2 fucking
Perfect.
you know
Perfect.
that's like,
yes.
wait a minute.
Yeah. He speaks
Yeah.
Russian.
That guy's not
You know,
Swedish.
he's got like a real
Yeah.
thick Serbian accent.
Yeah.
Like,
so
And he's like the working the barista.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I don't know about that one.
hearing's next week, so we'll see if they dismiss the case or sanction them or do whatever, because they're also asking for the city to pay the attorney's fees of them having to fight so much for the evidence, which
Well, you
is
would
very
think
unusual.
so,
It's
yeah.
very unusual that they would be ordered to pay, though, but they are asking for that too.
Lord of
Yeah.
mercy.
This is exciting shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you got to get going. You got your thing.
Oh, I'm glad you're keeping track.
God damn,
I
are
have
mortgages
therapy.
and real estate boring or what? We think we
no,
lead
no.
exciting lives.
She's got a
We're-
thing. She's got
Yeah,
a thing at noon.
I have therapy at noon,
And I just
I'm
wanna
like,
make
I
sure
have
she
a
doesn't miss
stop.
it. Yeah.
For everyone's safety, I need my therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vyvanse,
All right.
dude. I'm telling you. I am fucking
It's like
dialed
life-changing.
in. Oh
we
my
need
God.
to have you on three or four more times.
Oh, I was
easily.
going to say, we didn't even get to talk about social media because we were just talking
Yeah.
shit.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, I have like a few more minutes.
Yeah,
You
do
wanna
it.
ask me
Dive
some
in.
social
Dive
media
in, dude.
questions?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to know?
Social media questions.
What do you mean, like
I'll
legal?
say,
Like
no, like how to make content and everything.
Dude,
you
I
know?
need you to help me get my TikTok and Instagram rocking.
That's my love language. I love TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I know the algorithm so well, and like the thing is, you just have to do experiments. I love the videos you post, and you're
Mine
so
are
funny.
fucking hilarious.
You don't post enough though.
No.
You need
Because I get defeated whenever I fucking
No.
No, here's what you're doing wrong, because we're not defeated because you're doing it for the views. If you do it because you enjoy it and
Oh,
it's
I
fucking
love it.
funny,
I love
then
it.
you'll enjoy it. Quit looking at your views.
No,
because
but
it'll just take off.
But I want like
he is a view bully.
my CIA
Quit
one
looking
was
at your
fucking. This
views.
was fucking gold.
Let me see
okay?
it.
You saw. This
Oh, is that the one where they're
Yeah.
letting them in? Yeah.
the kid wash?
Yeah, you got good views on that.
But it's hilarious. Look at this.
Great angle, by the way, for me.
Half his face.
I've seen it.
The kid walking into the rally. This is the CIA.
Hey, come on. There we go.
Oh my god.
It's fucking hilarious. Anyway,
You are so funny. You just don't
if
post
I had
enough.
if I had the right people just go to my shit and dig, I got
But
a
that's
lot
why
of
you
good
gotta-
shit on
you
my
have
TikTok.
to post more so they'll find you. You know.
Yeah.
You're in the stage where it should be quantity over quality. Just post any funny shit you think of. You'll see what takes off. Just like you're doing, but more.
Let's
you need to
start
post,
a
like,
channel.
3 to
I'm
5
telling
videos
you.
a week.
I got thousands of.
Our
videos.
problem is,
post
though, we
them.
got all the ideas in the world, and we've got zero fucking execution to anything.
Well, now,
Call that
with
task
Vyvanse
paralysis.
now,
It's
now you
task
will.
paralysis,
No execution.
yes.
The what?
With your Vyvanse now, you'll
I'm
execute it.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
I am on. it.
So
I think you should
listen,
seriously talk. Hey, you got this doctor you're talking to? Can they prescribe?
Oh yeah, my doctor can't. I just never wanted to
Buy
take
that shit on the
medicine
dark
because I
web.
felt like that was like my special, like that I could do that stuff, you know.
But no,
buy
I
it on
still
the
You
dark
have.
felt that
web.
way too.
I still have do all this stuff like your ADHD.
Yeah, you thought that was like
it's a
that's
superpower,
like your superpower
for sure.
Yeah, so I don't want to
still
lose
have
that.
all of that, except
Okay.
it's.
Quieter.
No, I don't know how to explain it, dude.
Really?
I just think you should try. And it's not
You
like
don't feel like or
no,
like sedated or something.
No.
Okay.
I feel like I've been. So I explained it to Cassie like this. I feel like I was like, for the past 20 years, like I was like bubbling underwater,
Hunchback?
kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Overwhelmed.
and then now I just feel like I'm just out of the water. I
Really?
don't know how to explain it.
How long have you been taking it?
I've only been on it like fucking a week.
Really, and it's
But
already made a difference.
Instantly.
Wow.
The first time I took it, I swear to God, I almost cried. Because I
Really?
feel like my unmedicated youth again. Like,
Well,
I don't know how to
you've
explain it.
convinced me that I'll talk to my doctor because we used to be on the same page where like I don't want to take that and lose my edge. you
No,
know?
no. I'm like I feel
Yeah, I'll think about it.
I feel more creative.
Really?
I feel like everything. Yeah, I feel.
what
better.
is the difference between that and Adderall?
Well, Adderall is like an instant fucking. Okay, Vyvanse is called a pro drug.
Okay.
You can't abuse it. Like if I dumped out my Vyvanse right now
Uh-huh.
and I fucking railed that shit up
Okay.
my nose, it wouldn't work.
Okay.
It doesn't work. There's no effect. So a pro drug has to go through your gastrointestinal tract or whatever the fuck it's called. I think I just nailed that.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to go through your GI. So it takes like 2 hours for it to kick in. I'll
Okay.
take it in the morning at like 2 hours before I'm supposed to go back, before I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to bed. And then it like wakes you up. And you're just
Okay.
like, damn, I feel wonderful. I feel rested. I
Really?
feel
So
good."
you're saying if there's not a need for
slow-
it, you're not going to feel any sort of effects
I have
at
no
all.
idea.
Is that what you're
I have no
saying?
idea because I do need it. I'm
Okay.
saying that if you're gonna try to fucking, I wouldn't know.
Right.
I've always heard that if you took Adderall and you didn't have ADHD,
I hated Adderall.
that's why it makes people go crazy. It makes just ADHD people normal.
Right.
It makes,
right.
So
That's what I've
Vyvanse,
heard.
Vyvanse is it's actually really expensive too.
Oh,
I think I pay like
course.
$414 for a month. supply
Okay.
of it.
wow.
But you can get the off-brand one. But I wanted to get if I was gonna try it, I wanted to get like
yeah.
the fucking.
That's
Yeah.
a lot though.
Yeah, it is. But dude, it's a slow come up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. It's it doesn't. It's like super clear. It's
Okay.
not like Adderall where you're like, oh man, I'm kind of fucking speeding a little bit here.
Right.
It took
Yeah, that's
10
what
minutes
I
of-
was worried.
No.
Or
All right,
worried
fucking
that I
give
would
me.
be
Do you have
sluggish.
one? Give me one.
Oh my God,
Is that
not
legal?
on
Can we do
camera.
that? We can do that,
You
right?
Let's not
I would
do
never do
crimes
that. I
on
would
camera.
never.
I-
never.
yeah.
But you do have
That
to
was
come,
just a
You
test.
do have to come by my house and get that fucking
That thing.
that gift certificate
Yes.
for the wheels. So if you want to come by,
Okay.
don't forget that.
I didn't hear that.
All right, so he's so locked in. He's so dialed in. Vivance is the fucking greatest. So he tells me yesterday, remind me, or I tell him, bring something tomorrow. He goes, you got to remind me to bring it.
I'm the same way.
And then I go, you got to remind me to remind you to bring
I
it.
set alarms.
An hour before we're going to be here, he goes, hey, thanks for the reminder, which
No.
I didn't remind him.
No. I said, hey. He says, bring that fucking gift certificate to the podcast tomorrow. I said, I'll bring it tomorrow. Cool? He goes, only. I said, only if you remind me, though. I said. He goes, fuck. Can you remind me to remind you? I said,
I'm
of
the
course I
same-
can. So then this morning.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
So then
when
this
you're-
morning, an hour before, I said, don't forget to remind me in an hour to not forget the certificate.
Oh my gosh.
And he didn't. So I
Well,
did my part.
So my life hack just for this situation.
I forgot
set
it.
a
I did
timer.
my fucking part.
You can just be like, hey Siri, set a timer for gift certificate in 45 minutes. That's
Oh
what
yeah, I do that all the
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
But
you can't
this
rely.
is what he gets for not doing
Oh,
what
you're
the
being
this was the
Wait,
plan.
he's being sanctioned.
And
Yeah,
what did I
it's
tell you?
exculpatory.
It is a disability. I
It's
just forget shit. It is a disability.
Whatever.
That's right. He needs accommodations, Brandon.
Yeah, actually that's true.
Yeah, so,
So
Yeah.
get this,
work with me, not
get
against
this
me.
certificate.
I will come get it
And see how,
tomorrow.
See how you feel after you
Yeah.
Okay,
have it
I
in your
probably
possession.
do really have to
Yeah,
go,
go do your
but we
thing.
need to do like social media one time. Just questions.
Yes,
on social
dude,
media,
yes.
Because I have I'll give you the secret sauce, and I want everyone to do videos.
You said you could do 2 Fridays from now. You want to come back? Or
Sure, yeah.
You said the 9th, I think.
I'll have to double check,
Or
but
just
yeah,
double
that should
check?
be fine. Yeah.
And when this fucking cop fucking breaks
Yeah,
my
by then I'll have an
spleen,
update.
I want to
Yeah.
put you on retainer
By
right
then-
now.
By then, I'll have an update on what happens to that case because
Yeah.
the hearing's next week. So
That'd be
it'll
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 Fridays from now. Let's
Yeah.
let's check your shit
Sounds
just to make
good.
sure.
Yeah.
But that would be awesome. So
So
then
I'm
we
going to
can
go
spend
on
more time-
record to say I am not suicidal. He's not suicidal. So if you guys fucking
guys-
find us, hanging from a bridge,
It's
it
Rommel.
wasn't us.
It was
all
Rommel.
right?
Yeah, you should start ending every podcast like that. Just
We should, yeah,
just to let
exactly.
people know because we say some shit.
Yeah.
But also huge shout out to our sponsor John Morgan.
John
Premium
Morgan.
Premium Cabinets. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. We love you. If you want cabinets in the area, that's the dude. Premium Cabinets, St. Louis.
Love you, John.
And also, dude, Paige, thank you.
Yeah,
Like,
thanks for
seriously,
having me. This was fun.
I'm really proud of you. You've
Well,
done a really good job.
we didn't even
with
get to go
everything.
into like our background and
No,
like,
I want to talk. So
I know
when
with
we do
maybe the
talk,
social media.
Don't make me
I
cry,
could've-
guys.
I
It is
Seriously,
sappy.
it's
really
yeah.
we're gonna be like crying because
Please
it was
don't.
so motivational
Yeah.
at the time I needed it most.
When?
You know,
With the-
whenever you were like start making videos, like put yourself out there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get sappy next time.
So that was your idea.
Sure.
that's
yeah.
what
Okay.
he said. He likes to say that. Yeah.
I'm very vain
Yeah.
like you, but
He likes to
Wow,
like
that's
whenever I get
I
a
love
cool
your veins.
accomplishment,
A lot of veins.
he loves to comment and be like, "I'm so glad I told you to start doing videos 4
You're
years
welcome.
ago."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're
"You're right,
welcome.
Brandon." I always give credit where credit's due. I do.
Whatever.
But yeah, I'm be happy to come back.
Yeah, that would be awesome because I feel like I could talk to you for another 2-3 hours. Easily.
Yeah.
yeah, this
We
is
should do this
fun.
more.
I love the legal
Yeah,
system.
yeah. So, Paige Sparks, give your
Oh
drop
yeah,
your
if
shit.
you wanna,
Drop your stuff.
I'm on Instagram _Paige Sparks or TikTok as Lawyer Paige, and then don't go on my Facebook though, because that's weird. I think that it's weird. So just Instagram and TikTok.
And let them know too, like if you're bought, like who's calling you to have you represent them, like somebody who's getting like
like an
touched at
employee.
work,
Yeah.
or
So
my
if
boss
you-
keeps showing me dick
If you
pics.
need that, go through my website is sparks-legal.com. You have to fill out a form to let me know what happened, and then
Right.
I do free consultations. I'm so glad you said it. I do free consultations. So if you fill out that form, we'll see if we can help you, and if not, I might be able to give you other resources.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right, that's
All right.
Paige Sparks. You can catch us at The End Is Near, So Let's Drink Beer on Spotify and Apple every Wednesday, and also on YouTube at Beer Fam Podcast. And that's it. Love you. Bye.
Namaste, fuckers.
Huge thank you to our studio sponsor, John Morgan, and the entire Premium Cabinets family for helping make this podcast possible. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're following the podcast on all platforms so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Don't forget to join the End Is Near, So Let's Drink Beer Facebook group to make sure you stay prepared for the end of days. Till next time,